we like to say they're the largest company that nobody's ever heard of. Are you guys familiar with Sanan? Anybody?
Yes, now Sanan is the world's biggest blue dice maker in the world. Now it's number one. In terms of volume, also supplying all the world. Right? So we are part of the Sanan Optotronics based in China. But we are an independent American company based in California, Sunnyvale. We all come from there, right?
So you see a lot of other LED companies on the walls around here. Many of these companies are actually using dye from Sanan. Our parent company is supplying dye worldwide. That is why they're now the largest blue dye maker. So again, not very well known as a brand.
Yeah.
So what we focused on as a relative newcomer into the illumination market for LEDs is we really focused on high quality of light. So having very tight consistency in terms of the color control from LED to LED, so that when you have multiple lights in your installation, they all look the same, but also having very, very high color rendering. So we have an AccuWhite line of products, which is minimum 95 CRI, and they run typical about 97, 98 CRI.
2 years ago, we added to the module electronics. So if you can see this primary heatsink, we added exactly the same lead engine, if you want to call it that. And here you have the driver in with the module. So you now, my colleague is holding up the finished product. This means that you don't need a separate driver. It means that you have guaranteed compatibility between, let's say, a series parallel array of LEDs and the driver for minimum losses. It also means you have perfect tuning with the dimming. So you have dimming down to 0.1%. Very important point. You can have, maybe it looks on paper the same, specification 1% dimming, 0.1%. It really isn't. If you look at, I think it's called Stevens' law, and dimming down to 1%, that's actual light level. And what the human eye perceives is still about 10%. You see it jump to off. You really have to go to about 0.1% to have dimming down to dark. And secondly, you must make certain that it's flicker free. I don't just mean juddering, which the eye can see, that's bad enough, but if it's non-visible flicker, there's plenty of literature linking non-visible flicker to headaches, eye strain, insomnia, this sort of thing. So don't just say, it bypasses the visual cortex between the two hemispheres in the brain. It's important that there's no non-visible flicker. They download from the App Store, and yeah, it's early days, but there also is a control panel, and we're looking into sensors, we're looking into gateways between different wired and wireless protocols. It's early days, but we do make the start with this Generation 4 module. So what I've given you is a recap on the core technology of the light engine itself. I've given you an overview of electronics on board, and I've given you a glimpse into where we make our first steps with smart lighting and wireless communication. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, any question to Webster and our Roger?
So about a little bit that you see that YGM really did a good job on the housing design, which they already the XIM modules, no matter it's a DALI version or the wireless version, you see that the whole design is not including any drivers, and running it in a 48-volt track without any gearbox, so that you can see the beauty of the design that you can save the cost of housing the gearbox. And the form factor of the wired and wireless version is exactly the same, which means that you can implement the DALI version with the wireless version in the same house without any additional cost changes.
Okay, so thank you, Roger Webster, for your talk. Please, if you're interested, stop by for a business card, specific questions on the module. I just want to point out that smart lighting, this is really going to be the new thing in the lighting industry. So make sure you get your information. And if you have any specific questions on the components for the XIM product or other Staccato products, please stop by at the stand and ask specific questions on that. And well, thank you very much for being here, and enjoy your drink. And well, stay tuned around the booth. Thank you. Thank you.
Technology that will do this by using Bluetooth, and therefore we developed a small module that can be connected to our three-phase adapter, and this can then be put to any existing three-phase tracking output, and there's millions of kilometers out there. So now we can very easily turn any three-phase tracking environment into a control environment using our spots, track lines, and our modules, and of course hopefully our tracks. But that's not necessary. So it looks like this, the adapter, and then the module, and this is just a simple halogen spot we put here, but you can put halogen, you can put LED, you can put various kinds of spots here. And then all you have to do is plug this into the track, close the adapter, start the application, download the application, start the application. The application will automatically find all these modules. And if I can get your phone, once you have the application in your smart device, you will see all the modules that you have connected. And then you can just take them on or off. Yes, there we go. Just like that, I'm going to put them on individually. Yes. You can make groups, you can build scenes. So if you have, for example, a shop that has 5 windows, you can build different scenes for each window, and then you can adjust them easily using your smart device. It's naturally password protected in 3 levels, so no one else can get into your network and start playing with your lights while you are having a show or in your showroom or anything. So it's really very nice. Installation takes, well, I would say 5 minutes. You plug them in, start the application, and they find the modules automatically, and you can then give names. For example, let's say meeting room, you put these in the meeting room, you take a picture of the meeting room, you put the picture here and say, let's put on the lights in the meeting room, you press the meeting room and all that. So really simple. It's so simple that it's something you really have to experience when you do it the first time. So that is the simple solution, the simple answer. And from my point of view, the important thing is that, first of all, we don't do lights, spots. We have good partners for that. And you can choose whatever kinds of spots you use, connect it to our product, our adapter, our module, go and sell it to your customers, whether they use our tracks or someone else's tracks, and sell more to your customers. It doesn't mean that you have to change everything. You can sell more, you can leave some of the spots, sell some new ones, and get the customer, how shall I say, hooked, and then you can start doing more business. So this is how I see this, and I really suggest that you try it out, get a sample set, let it go, see how it works, and see what the customers think.
Very good.
And it's really simple. I think the biggest thing here is that it doesn't require any programming skills. You put your spot, plug it into the track, start the application, and it's so easy. You can time it from Monday to Sunday, start in the morning, go off in the evening. You can do all kinds of things that you want, but it's still not a super, let's say, functional in a way that there's not too many functions, but there are the basic functions, and I think they will evolve and there will be more and more functionality also. But yeah, I think there's of course power limit. There are only specs. I mean, I think you might have it already. If not, then we have the technical specifications with the installation instruction and all the details are there. So
for me, it's easy to be in contact with
yeah. As you like.
Yeah. So you sell the module, right? So you don't charge anything on the software download.
No, the application is part of the pricing of the module. So you just download the application. You can download it even without buying the modules.
Oh yeah.
And it also, by the way, the application is able to control Philips So it's an add-on now if someone has Philips Hue. Yeah, so it's built in there. So you can put it on or put it off, whether you want to control them as well. All right.
All right.
Thank you very much. So please stick around if you're thirsty. Maybe you have another beer. We're gonna have another presentation from Emily, sales manager of Osram. She's gonna talk about the newest product of Osram. In the meantime, we'll also go around with a box. Put your business card in there. Yeah, it's the best one you're going to spend your business card on, because we're going to do a lucky draw. There's going to be a present. It's really interesting. So stick around, have a beer, but first we'll have Emily from Osram.
I have a suggestion, maybe this gentleman this way, because this is an Osram stand. Emily, okay?
You want to stand there?
Okay, it's Emily.
Emily from Osram PS I just arrived in 5 weeks, but it's okay. We are very familiar with WG and Henry. In the past years, he's support us. And I think this is, we don't have a booth here, but I'm very glad that Osram so many products here. And maybe I give a short introduction about our product. And I think this booth is most about the downlight and the track light. As you know, also offers a lot of products, including the LED module and the driver, which we will match our system together. And we have different segments products which will meet your customer requirement. And I think the first part is in the lighting module that we have round one and which is square one, which is our cube product. We have display cube. We have the AC version and DC version, including 1000 lumen output, 2000 lumen output, 3000 lumen output, which I think is very common and could be used in several kinds of downlight, different sizes. You can see that Henry provides a good range of products here. I think this is for the physical part. Maybe we come to hear about the physical product range. And with one COB and the driver, we also provide a system guarantee with 5 years guarantee for the product. And Henry is good at on this kind of connector that we could install the system guarantee that is very easy for assembly.
And almost very cheap.
thank you very much for Henry's support of this product. We could also provide to our other customers, to our
Good idea.
97 product, super high CRI product. People feel it, hey, this is good.
しかし、その CRI の指標にとって変えまして、デルタ CAB という指標で我々はこのビビットというものの綺麗さを数値化しようとしております。
CRI has been a guideline in the market, but for citizens to promote this velvet product, we want to tell our customer, hey, we have a different new guideline. We call it a Delta CAB.
で、ビビットシリーズなんですけれども、今までは博物館やあとはリテールショップ等で使われていたんですけれども、このジェネレーション2になりましたら、ルーメンパーワット効率が上がってますので、このような看板照明、あとはスポット照明等の利用にも幅広く使えると考えています。
2 years back, we introduced the first generation velvet products. It has been used in like fashion shop and also a museum. And now this year we come up with a second generation velvet. And for this 2 years, not just the fashion shop, not just the museum, but also outdoor signboard has been using a velvet LED.
はい、あとですね、先ほど少し触れましたけれども、デルタ CAB、このようにCIE という機関ですね、CIE スタンダードが決めたものなんですけれども、ある基準項をもとに、その基準項からの、ネガティブな部分とアクティブな部分、プラスとマイナスを計算しまして、このようなグラフとグラフになっています。
So for velvet, you look at it, you see the difference. But how you can tell how we can tell our customer this is good in terms of the number data? So we use a delta CAB. This is a standard. This is a new calculation tool coming from CIE. They have start from C1 to C15. This graph. This is a standard light source.
There are more questions, feel free to ask a citizen. I think Henry wants to.
You can tell them your phone number, that they can go there. Here, too small, I'm so sorry.
1B E10. Okay. Well, thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
We make the connector. This is a bing, yeah? If anyone they want to know the cost to buy ourselves, and even we have sample kits to ready for any person here. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And everybody try, they can make a group picture. See. You are too sharp. You are too sharp. You are too sharp.